Hello and welcome. You're watching News Central Television. I am Judith, the TV. It's time for News Central now, and here are the top stories at this hour. Global Muslim community continues celebration of Eid al-Adha. As security concerns persist in Nigeria's north, government considers fencing border in Lake Chad area. And off to Togo, where security services deployed amidst rare anti-government demonstrations. Details shortly. And we begin with the Eid al-Adha celebrations. It's day 2 of the Salah celebration as Muslim faithful continue with the Eid al-Adha festivities across the world. It is one of the most important festivals in the Muslim calendar. Now, the festival remembers the Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son when God ordered him to. In Abuja, people gathered for prayer at the al-Habibiyya mosques, joining Muslims worldwide in celebration of the Eid festival. Our News Central's correspondents have been tracking the Eid celebration across the country, and they now join us to give updates. And we start with Sumaya Abubakar, who joins us live from Abuja. Sumaya, I see you are in your Eid best this morning. Sumaya joins us live from Nasarawa. Sumaya, what's the latest with you?
All right, well, right now I'm in Pesi, and I am in the front of the Emir's Palace. Now, behind me, of course, is the Emir's Palace. At this time, you can see the front of the palace is filled with cars. This is the time where the Emir sits down with his titled men to talk about, the progress and other lapses of this particular town. And there's also an ongoing plan of the Daba, which would be the Hawan Joti that would be done around the evening time. We're talking about from 3 to 6 p.m., where the Emir is going to come out and mass. It's going to be a long procession with titled men, the chamber people. Everybody is going to come out with their own placards, horses, and they're going to ride around the city where the people, of course, will come out and mass to wave and appreciate their king. Now, yesterday, of course, came with a bit of limitation because it was Friday, and it also had to do with the slaughtering of the ram, so they had to do everything in streets. Now, today, later on, it's going to be a really slower procession that everybody is going to enjoy, and I am definitely looking forward to it. And then also, in front of me, of course, there's going to be a very big crowd of children that would be coming here to celebrate. There's a bit of fun activities that would be happening. So yeah, basically this is what I have right now going on, and people are gearing up, just preparing to come out and march to celebrate in the city center. That's the Emir's Palace.
Joining us now, we also do have Joshua Marai, who is at Lugba in the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. Joshua, what's it like at the moment? I know it's a capital, and also being the capital, there's the national mosques there. What's the celebrations going on and the prayers so far?
Well, good afternoon to you, Judith. I am live at the popular recreational center, the Nova Gateway Mall across Airport Road here in Lugbe, Abuja. This place used to be a beehive of activities from the early hours of the day, but surprisingly, this place is quite as dry as it could be, because we were expecting that families would throng out this period. As you can see behind me, it's a very, very vast empty field. We were expecting that families were going to throng out and maybe catch fun and the like, but I think the economic situation is gradually taking a toll on them, sensing that is the reason why most of them are not out yet. But we expect them to be out subsequently. As you know, yesterday was the slaughtering of rams and the celebration proper of the Eid al-Adha. But today we are expecting the celebration to continue, and so we are hopeful that subsequently we'll see a family or two who is coming out to have the fun of the day here in Lugbe, Abuja.
All right. I mean, Joshua, you just, juxtapose, brought something that's very important to the fore, and that's the economic issues that we're facing. The rising cost of living, the soaring cost of living crisis is really touching everyone far and wide. And this celebration is not just, the colors and people coming out to pray and observe, the tenets of Islam, but most importantly, they want to adhere continually to that tenet, and which is killing of the ram. And the economics indices, seems to be biting hard at this time. Is it the same for you, Sumaya? Were you able to speak to Muslims in Kefi, in Nasarawa? And what was the mood like, to be able to, share the ram meat and, be with family and friends and loved ones at this time?
I mean, for the people of Kefi, it is a case of helping each other out. Before now, or should I say the past years, you would see people sewing about 2 to 3 clothes and going from day 1 to even day 5, changing outfits. But most of the people I was able to talk to this Eid, they were just able to get one clothes each for themselves and their kids, just to keep the festivity, alive in their hearts. And in terms of the slaughtering of the ram, we all know the prices of went over, exorbitant prices. So a lot of people were not able to do this around. But then Turkey, of course, is a nomadic city. These are people that tend to rear their own rams themselves. So some of them were able to do that because of how long they took to rear them, while others just have to depend on their neighbors, which would slaughter the ram and then help the family. So yes, yesterday I spoke to a lot of people who are sharing their concerns about how expensive not only the ram is for food items, but people, like I said, in this place, you all know how small communities tend to come together to assist each other. So that has been the bit of the failure that we have here. And the feel is all about carrying everybody along. So yes, there is hardship, but communities are coming together to help each other.
And very important at this time, there's one thing about festivities, and also one of the tenets of Islam is almsgiving and sharing and loving, their neighbors. But I also want to talk about, the tragedy that happened in Niger State, leading just in time for Eid. Joshua, you have been covering the event live as it happens. How is that bearing on celebrations in Niger? Were you able to speak to Muslim faithfuls in Mokwa local government area in Niger State?
Muslim faithful in Niger, the last thing on their minds is Eid celebration, basically, because one who does not have a roof under his head, I don't think that would be comfortable for the person to celebrate Eid proper. So that was one of the reasons, one of the main issue I raised concerning the fact that it is just few days after Salah and that event occurred, shattering the hopes of so many Nigerians. And most of these people lost their means of livelihood to the devastating effects of the flood. So now it casts another aspersion on the light of how much government support they are getting in times of need, considering the fact that Eid al-Adha is close by, and how would they be celebrating it? That is one question we need to ask government, and to make them, to put them in accountability to ensure that these persons are comfortable with this particular scenario they find themselves in. So basically, for most residents in Niger State, it is just to cope, maybe clinging into one coping mechanism or the other, and remembering that the hope is not yet lost as far as there is life.
Right. I mean, and at this prayers, I mean, Sumaya, you're also Muslim as well. At this prayers, what was, what was at the top of, of the minds of Muslim faithfuls as they gather at the grounds there, praying, the prayers for the celebrations to sort of kickstart that celebration?
To, of course, the Eid ground. First thing that normally is done is we have the Imam coming out to put sermon, to lecture people about the strength, the good and bad that religion, of course, has actually put for people. So it's like a reminder that it starts, and lots of prayers was made yesterday on the Eid ground. One of it, of course, was what happened in Niger State, Mokwa local government, which the Imam prayed and said, for everybody out there having or facing some kind of hardship, may Allah bring mercy or a bit of peace and so forth to them. So yes, immediately after that, the prayer goes on, and after the Eid prayer, there's also a prayer rounding up and praying for everybody in the nation. So while this, it's all about celebration, it's also bring people together, remind us of the importance of religion in our lives and the importance of love and sharing. Basically, that was it. So it just brings people in general together. So Eid, of course, here it's a bit of bittersweet situation, and I cannot even imagine what people in Mokwa are going through. But everywhere from Kefi here, of course, our heart goes to the people of Mokwa. But then the celebration, yes, here continues.
Yeah, I mean, Sumaya, many thanks. We appreciate you. Sumaya Abubakar, our correspondent live from the capital of Nasarawa, Kefi, or rather from Kefi, Nasarawa, and also Joshua Marai, who's our reporter at Lugba, the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Sumaya, there are way bills and logistical companies, so I expect my Salah meat, as well as the outfit you're wearing, in the mail. Guys, talk to you soon. Our correspondents are just giving us a bit of insight or sights and sounds as the Eid celebrations continues. We'll switch gears now to more celebrations, as no fewer than 100 million people are expected to participate in the 2025 edition of the globally renowned Ojude Oba Festival. The event organizing committee is now revealed. Now, the coordinator of the Ojude Oba Festival Committee, Dr. Fasi Yusuf, disclosed this during an interview with newsmen in Abeokuta. Yusuf said the festival is scheduled to hold on Sunday in Ijebu-Ode in honor of the Awujele of Ijebu-Ode, or Ijebu land, I beg your pardon. He noted that the estimated 100 million participants include approximately 200,000 people expected to converge at the main pavilion and surrounding Utoro Center. He described the more than 200-year-old festival as a vital cultural heritage for the Ijebu people and a beacon of Nigeria's rich traditions. Now joining us is News Central's Igbalani Omoni. He is on standby to give us more update on this. Nee, I know you're representing News Central, but I was expecting to see, more color with the attire. But Nee, it's barely 24 hours to the D-Day of the Ojude Oba Festival. Give us a sense of how the preparations are coming along and how much buzz there is about tomorrow.
I'll start with the figures you mentioned. Ijebu itself has over 600,000 people. And from what you mentioned, now over 100 million people will be attending. I can tell you for a fact, till now, we're still having issues with accommodation because every single hotel and the urban settlement and the rural area are fully booked, including shotlets and even houses and homes and brown rural development areas. They are all booked, nowhere to sleep. So if you're coming to Ijebu today, you better just come with a fitted car that has an AC where you can sleep overnight. But let me come back to where I am right now. And this is the Sekiru Daytona Pavilion, where the event is going to hold and where it has been holding for quite a long time. And just to be clear, this is in honor, the name is the name of the Awujale, who is the king of Ijebu land. And a lot has been done here. There are going to be a few changes to what happened in 2024, pardon me, I'm living in the future, as against what's going to happen this year. Few things that have changed is that the carpets, there were no carpets here as of last year, but now we can see the beauty in some of the color matching they did on the carpet here. And I heard also that these glasses that were installed right in front of these structures here were just installed, and the chairs have been changed. Hopefully, according to information we hear, this has been reserved for the VIPs, the king, the governor, and so many other dignitaries that are going to be coming. Meanwhile, every single lemon chair you can see across the stadium from my right-hand side, panning all through, these are where the various groups called Regbe will be seated. And we've seen many videos of them seated here, adorned in their beautiful ashoke and different colors, trying to represent who they are. Now, when they're seated, they will come back to this place where I am to pay homage to the Awujale, who will be seated around inside one of these structures up here to pay homage to him. And once they are done, and we're hearing there are about 80 to 85 age grades of the Regbe, which is a group that will be represented here. Once they're done paying homage, then the election, that is the horse riders, various horse groups, will come parade. You see horses dancing, seriously, tomorrow, and that will be the course of the event. But I'm here with one of the MCs. I happened to jam him on when I was here anyways. One of the MCs that will be hosting for tomorrow. They're going to have so many though, but I'd like him to introduce himself. What's your name, sir?
My name is Ambassador Olabinto Ibrahim, MC Fele.
I was speaking to you earlier, and you mentioned this is the very first time you are going to be allowed to MC this event. How do you?
I've never been here before in my life, but I've been in Ijebu several times. But particular Ojude Oba, I always hear, since when I was young, I was here, yeah, Ojude Oba, Ojude Oba, Ojude Oba. But I was glad that this year I'm involved. I came from one of the, I don't know how to call it in English, one of the group. They invite me to anchor their own section, which I'll be here live tomorrow at Ojude Oba 2025, Jebudi.
What should we be expecting tomorrow? What should we be expecting?
Let God take the glory. But with me, inner me, my inbuilt, I don't know, maybe I will even control myself, because over glad. If you don't control it, can misbehave.
Yeah.
I'm over incited. So God should take control. But my fans be expecting something new, something good tomorrow.
Well, he's overjoyed. I'm overjoyed because I'm going to be here as well. But I'm not done because I have someone with me who came all the way from Lagos. She has been hearing so much about the Ojude Oba, and it's year 2025. But I see you're here. You came for an event, but you said you must just branch here. Why? Why was it important for you as a drummer, as a talking drummer, as someone who plays the talking drum to be here or to find yourself here?
Actually, I've heard so much about this very program. And I love culture, so I decided to let me just come and see what it is all about. Because I've heard about Ojude Oba. What are you doing there? Is it party? Let me just come and have the taste of how it looks like. Because I love anything culture. That's what.
Will you be able to give us a sound, something we can just dance to prepare us for the Ojude Oba?
Okay.
All right, let's.
I'll play this first.
Okay.
Then I'll play this second.
All right, let's. Sorry, interpret that because I know it has an interpretation.
Yes.
What is it?
Yiyeni yeyele, ibi gbogbo ló ràdàbà lọ́rùn. Yiyeni yeyele.
I won't try to interpret it, don't worry. I'll just leave it as the way you feel it. So let's hear this. Awesome. What were you trying to say with this talking drum?
Àṣeṣetúnṣe bí a bá ṣe yìí tán a ó ṣe míì sí. Like they've been doing it for several years. They are doing it today and we continue doing it.
Awesome. That is quite deep. What's your name?
My name is Titi Rao.
Awesome. I hope I will see you tomorrow.
Sure.
Sure, you'll be there, but in your own ashoke.
Yeah, of course, yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Thank you, MC. Thank you. Appreciate it. And that's it. You have it from them. I'm also going to be here live because I can't afford to miss this. I don't know if I will have my own ashoke, but we're certainly going to be bringing you the hottest gist and the biggest news coming from this Ojude Oba Festival tomorrow. And I hope everyone enjoys it. Judith, over to you.
Yeah, Nia, it's very sad that you're just showing off at this point. You're being a show-off. But all the same, I will be seated in this chair and bring on all the live updates to our viewers. Balani Omoni, they are correspondent live from Ojude Oba from Ijebu, Ogun State. Let's go on a short break, shall we? When we come back, there's plenty more on News Now. Stay with us. And you're welcome back. Let's switch gears now to politics, as the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has commended the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Umo Eno, for defecting to the All Progressives Congress, APC. Eno officially defected from the People's Democratic Party to APC on Friday at an event held at the Government House in Uyo, the state capital. The governor defected alongside his deputy, Akon Ian Kenye, as well as members of the State Executive Council, federal and state lawmakers, and local council chairpersons. Reacting in a Facebook post on Friday, Akpabio said Eno's decision to join APC shows his commitment to the welfare of the people. The governor said the decision followed what he described as 3 months of wide consultation with stakeholders across the state.
Progressive Congress.
And in the meantime, the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, is advocating for a single term of 5 or 6 years for elected political office holders across all levels of government in Nigeria against the current double term of 4 years each. Governor Makinde believes a single term of 5 or 6 years is enough for any government to focus and serve the people and deliver on its mandate. The governor made this known while hosting Muslim faithful alongside traditional rulers and political office holders in Ikolaba, private residence in Ibadan, the state capital, shortly after the Eid al-Kabir prayers. The delegation was led by the state deputy governor, Mayor Lawal. Very lofty ask there. Well, joining us to discuss this and more is a rights lawyer and political analyst, Alan Shore. Mr. Shore, it's good to have you join us. I mean, what real concern should we be worried about ahead of the 2027 with the defections of core opposition states, especially the South-South, which has been a stronghold for the opposition PDP for pretty much since 1999?
Thank you for having me once again. I don't think there is anything to be worried about the current defection. What we should be worried about is that there may be emergence of a new and perhaps stronger opposition. What is going on currently is the death of a political party, unfortunately, the PDP, and I can tell you that is going to erode the bond or the birth of a new, more organized opposition.
And so, will the Nigerian voter have sufficient, choice, or variety to choose from if all the candidates on the ballot were from one party by 2027?
There are 18 registered political parties in Nigeria today, and you can see that the politicians are already rearranging themselves. Just like I said earlier, the death of one political party that is in the opposition does not necessarily translate to the death of opposition. Sometimes it even means the emergence of more oppositions if we have to follow strictly the Constitution, because it is the duty of INEC to register new political parties. Even the existing ones can go into merger, or some of the not too popular political parties will become popular in the days ahead. And that is what may likely play out. So the people will definitely have enough options come 2027.
I mean, one thing is options, right? Like you rightfully put, 18 political parties. One thing is options. Another is, leverage, or clout or power, if you will, to go toe-to-toe with what has now become a juggernaut, that is APC, right? If you are seeding off if you're having all these defections from all the, viable opposition parties that we saw during the last election cycle, it begs to ask the question, the chance that these oppositions have. Do they have that, what it takes? Because it's not just in the name, okay? It's more than that. It takes influence, it takes, a figure like, a powerful figure who can steer the party and speak to power and stand toe-to-toe to the ruling party to be able to clinch power or, do better for Nigerians.
Yes, there are two things that you have just put together. One is the fact that are we going to have people with outstanding personality to stand as the opposition figure to contest and win election. The second one is, are we going to have enough voices, enough people who will play the role of opposition? Opposition don't necessarily have to be in power. You can be opposing and still be vibrant for democracy to survive. But now to your first part of the first question, are we going to have men with outstanding clouds, outstanding personalities to stand who can command the respect of the people to win an election? That power, that decision rests with the Nigerian people. Come 2027, to choose between darkness and light, to decide between the centrifugal and the centripetal, to compare the candidate of Party A and Party B and take that individual decision which will be enumerated or counted by INEC. And INEC will now make pronouncement. It is that pronouncement that will now decide whether the wish or wishes of the people have come to fruition. So we have to wait.
As we wait, let's talk about INEC itself, right? Because it's the umpire who is supposed to play fair. And we saw what happened in 2023 with the Bivers, with the presidential, the general elections, as well as the gubernatorial elections. And we've seen situations of the off-cycle elections, right? The gubernatorial off-cycle elections. And the issue, the bulk of the problem is transparency, right? We've seen this in the election tribunal. It's transparency with the beavers and cases of overvoting or undervoting, And so we have to bring the INEC to the fore. Can they play fair, and can they deliver on the promises of transparency and accountability to Nigerians come 2027?
See, part of the challenges we have, even with the current defection, with the gear of defection, is the failure of INEC. INEC has not been able to come to its responsibility, I mean its constitutional responsibility of conducting election. The Nigeria Constitution is very clear, section 68(1)(g). When a legislator deflects from the party that is elected on, his position becomes vacant. But INEC has not been able to enforce, or let's say INEC and the judiciary have not been able to enforce this. And this has emboldened people who ordinarily should have lost their seat.
And lastly, before I let you go, I would like for you to comment on Governor Seyi Makinde's idea of single term for president and governor, a single term of 5 or 6 years. What's your thoughts on that, on his idea?
Why is he raising it now that he's at the verge of completing his own second term? Why are Nigerian leaders always try to play smart on the people? He should have raised that at the beginning of his tenure, and if there were no constitutional amendment, he should have said that, oh, 4 years, I'm going to spend 4 years and leave. So a lot of the constitutional provision that we have don't even have to be enforced. Individuals should be taking decisions. Look at what happened yesterday in Akwa Ibom. The commissioner said he was not going to follow the governor. People must be able to take decisions based on their conscience, not on playing to the gallery. Now that he's leaving, he's now advocating for a single term. He should have rejected that. He shouldn't have contested for the second time, and he would, by now he would be a great advocate of what he practices.
Well, I mean, he didn't see the mass defection during his first. I mean, to make a case for him, he didn't see the mass defection in his first term tenure, but pretty much it's all the time it can take. Mr. Erlen, I must say thank you. Alan Shore, he is a public affairs analyst joining us to give us a bit of insight on the political situation in Nigeria. Let's switch gears now to insecurity as part of efforts to curb cross-border terrorism, banditry, and arms smuggling. The federal government is considering the construction of fiscal barriers along Nigeria's porous borders. Now, the chief whip of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Mohammed Tahir Mongono, made this known during his visit to Marte in the fringes of the Lake Chad while fielding questions from News Central's Umar Kirawa. Now, and he completes the story.
It was a lot of troubles, and it took hard-earned efforts spanning over a decade to achieve peace across different communities in the Lake Chad. While Nigeria's borders span nearly 2,000 kilometers with Cameroon, the wars-affected region, plus 1,500 kilometers with Niger, around 85 kilometers with Chad, and a smaller front with Benin Republic, security analysts have long identified these regions as a weak link in Nigeria's fight against insecurity.
I very much agree with the fact that the Nigerian border is very porous and there is a need to fence the border. But it's a very expensive border, expensive venture, having regard to the fact that our border between our neighboring countries runs into thousands of kilometers. So it's need a huge investment. If the resources are there to do it, it's a welcome development. But the resources to do that is very scarce, but it's a welcome development. We will look at it if the necessary resources are there. Since the protection of lives and property of the people is the primary purpose of government, the National Assembly will deploy the necessary resources in order to achieve it, with a proviso that if adequate resources are there.
The argument has been that a better control of movement across border by security forces will reduce influx of terrorists.
To some people, it might seem as if it is impossible. But I can tell you there are countries that are fenced over 1,500 kilometers stretch. And it is when you do that, because when you notice that you have a porous area that is giving you consistent problem, find a final solution to it. So border management will be good. Fencing those locations, we can start gradually. It doesn't have to be one day. If we're able to do the census, capture every Nigerian in the world, it will give us a strong database for us to be able to regulate who comes in and who doesn't come in.
For the newly reclaimed Marte community in the fringes of the Lake Chad, it is a sigh of relief.
Alhamdulillah, kamar naptundile wa ifandena.
The battle to maintain peace in the Lake Chad is continuing, and the civilian JTF, hunters, vigilantes, and the military, among other security personnel, have assured to ensure that peace and stability is maintained in Marte. From Marte for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Let's go on a short break, shall we? When we come back, there's more updates, and this time our correspondent Omolola Ololade will join us from Lagos. Stay with us. And you're welcome back. And we continue with our live coverage of the Eid celebrations across Nigeria. And joining us live from the commercial capital of Nigeria, from Lagos, that's Omolola Ololade. She joins us now live from Ikeja, Lagos. Omolola, what's going on where you're at? What's the atmosphere like? I can see that you're in your Eid best.
Yeah, good afternoon, Judith. As you can see, we're also joining the celebration, even though we're still working. Well, we're finding time to celebrate Salah. But we are here at JJT, by one of the parks in Lagos, where, some Muslim faithfuls are here to celebrate. Not just Muslims, just people basically are here to celebrate, but majorly Muslims are focused on Muslims because of the Eid celebration. So, but getting to this place, the roads were free, and then, you can tell that the celebration is rather a solemn one, not as it used to be. Because even when I got to the park, I got to enter, just to check what's happening around. People are having fun, but you can see that the number of people there are just not what it used to be compared to, the last Eid that we had. Just a few people having fun with their friends and family and loved ones. But it's maybe because it's just 12 p.m. or past 12 p.m. I'd say because maybe the day is still young. We may still find people to talk, come here later. But I have one of the Muslim faithfuls here with me. Please come, sir. His name is Mr. Moshood Bilal. He will be telling us, because he came here with a handful of people, to celebrate the Eid celebration. He'll be telling us how the day is going. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So how is the Eid celebration for you?
We thank Almighty Allah.
How was it from yesterday up until now?
We thank Almighty Allah to leave us where we witness this Eid al-Kabir. So we thank Almighty Allah. And we are still, at least we are come out to my children. You can see all here, we are come and play. So we thank Almighty Allah.
How was yesterday for you, before the going to the prayer ground and the killing of the ram, or did you go out yesterday at all?
I didn't go out yesterday at all because yesterday we are killing ram, so because of the busy, so we can't come out. So we say today we come out and celebrate with my family. We come out now. As you can see, everybody is here, so we can just we thank Almighty Allah.
Okay, so besides having fun here, are there other plans, to make this Eid celebration or Eid holiday a memorable one for you and your family?
Yeah, it's okay because you can see everything now is too much causing because anywhere you go now because of the fair and something like that. So once you just finish here, at least we play here and go to the house. So
thank you very much, sir. Yes. Thank you so much. So as you can see and listen to, people are trying to have fun despite all that is happening in the country. Despite the cost of living, despite the high price of things, people still find time to have fun with their loved ones. And that is what he has said today. That even despite all of these things, they just have to come out to have fun with their family, and then perhaps go home afterwards just to enjoy the Eid celebration. And that's how it's been for many of them here in Lagos.
Well, many thanks. We appreciate you. We definitely will come back to you. Subsequent bulletins for more on that. Omolalolade there, our correspondent live from the heartbeat of Lagos, and that's Ikeja. We'll switch gears now to anti-government protests just outside Nigeria, as security forces in Togo have been deployed in large numbers across the capital, Lome, to disperse a rare demonstration against the government. President Fari Nasigbe has led Togo since 2005, succeeding his father, who ruled for nearly 4 decades. Young people and civil society activists had called for Friday's protests on social media to denounce the arrest of critical voices, fuel price hikes, and a recent constitutional reform that critics say is just a means for the president to extend his grip on power. However, police dispersed a few dozen protesters with tear gas in different parts of the capital, particularly near the president's office. Now, journalists covering the protests were briefly detained and forced by security forces to erase their images. And off to Mali, where the military has withdrawn from a key base in the center of the country after a second deadly jihadist attack in less than a week. At least 30 soldiers were killed on Sunday when the Bokisi base was first targeted. That assault was claimed by the al-Qaeda-linked group JNIM, short for the Group for the Support of Islam and Muslims. On Thursday, the base came under attack again. By Friday, which coincided with the Eid al-Adha holiday, troops had fully pulled out, taking their belongings with them. Local residents in Bokisi warn that the area now risks being overrun by militants. And Qatar has presented a draft peace proposal to Congo and Rwanda-backed M23 rebels after months of mediation in Doha. And the two sides will consult their leaders before resuming talks. The draft peace proposal is the result of more than 2 months of direct and indirect talks between M23 and Congo, held in Doha and mediated by Qatar. Fighting in eastern Congo, it escalated this year as M23 staged an advance that saw it seize the region's 2 largest cities. African leaders, along with Doha and Washington, are trying to broker a peace deal that would put an end to a conflict with roots in the Rwandan genocide more than 3 decades ago. Let's go on a short break, shall we? When we come back, there's plenty more, and also sports. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Nigerian Sports Commission has inaugurated the election petitions and election appeals committees to strengthen transparency and integrity in sports federation elections. comprising seasoned local or legal experts, I beg your pardon, administrators and media professionals, as well as the committee. It now reflects on the NSC's renewed commitment to credible sports governance. The Election Petitions Committee is chaired by Barrister Dinan Ikia, with support from other legal and media figures. The Appeals Committee is led by Abdul Hakim Uthman Mustafa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, a renowned legal authority in sports arbitration, and includes distinguished members with international credentials. Now, these appointments aim to ensure fair education and education of election-related disputes and uphold due process. The initiative aligns with global best practices and is expected to rebuild confidence in Nigeria's sports electoral process. The body of Nigerian boxer Segun Olarewaju is expected to arrive in Nigeria next week, following over 2 months of diplomatic and legal efforts. The Nigeria Boxing Board of Control confirmed the return after negotiations between Nigerian and Ghanaian authorities. Olarewaju, known as Success, died on March 29th after collapsing during a boat in Accra. His death prompted investigations revealing that he had undiagnosed enlarged heart and did not undergo required medical checks before the flight. The Ghana Boxing Authority was also found to lack proper medical oversight and licensing. A seven-member committee submitted a 100-page report on the incident. The repatriation marks a painful closure for Olaraju's family and the Nigerian boxing community. Once again, may his soul rest in peace. The Super Eagles extended their impressive form under coach Eric Chile with a 1-1 draw against Russia on Friday evening in Moscow. Russia took the lead in the first half after Semi Ajayi inadvertently turned the ball into his own net. However, the Eagles responded in the second half with Belgian-based striker Tolu Orukodare, who pounced on a defensive error to level the score in the 70th minute. Goalkeeper Maduka Okoye delivered a solid performance, marking several key saves to keep Nigeria in the march. The result follows Nigeria's penalty shootout victory over Jamaica last week in the Unity Cup. The Super Eagles remain unbeaten in their recent outings as Chile continues to guide the team with promising results. And that's congratulations to them. And that's all we can take at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Global Muslim community continues celebrations of Eid al-Adha. As security concerns persist in Nigeria's north, government considers fencing border in Lake Chad area. And we head off to Togo, where we told you that security forces have deployed amidst rare anti-government demonstration. Now, do remember, as you're celebrating, if you see anything out there, please send us your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number now showing on the screen. And do follow us on social media. You can find every news on here on our social media platforms. We're at News Central TV on all social media platforms. Do not miss anything. Make sure to watch us live on DSTV channel 422. We're also on GoTV. Find us on channel 23. You have Star Times. We're on channel 274. Download Avo TV on your Apple television or your smart television, and also you can stream us live 24/7 on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Judith at TV. Good night.